Hello, everyone. Happy
Hi.
Hacktoberfest again. So, how are you doing, Jamie?
Good. I'm at
Excellent.
my parents' house, which is decorated for Halloween.
Yes, look at that. Well, I've got a nice orange Halloween ball right next to me here. That's yeah, and I'm wearing, of course, my orange Hacktoberfest shirt, but that's it. So Jeff has come back for another week with us. That's great. Oh, and and we've got David joining us, and he's got his nice genealogy t-shirt. Excellent. Good. So we've got a full house tonight, or this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow morning, whatever time you're watching this. So welcome to everyone who's here live with us. We have John Tyner from Ireland, and Anne and Murray. Yoke is here. Azure's joining us as always, and we've got a few others. So hello to everyone who's joining us live and also watching us after the fact. So that's great. So we've got lots to talk about, right, Jamie?
Yeah, we have at least four tree apps to talk about, and then Jeff has some new improvements to the stuff he's been working on for WikiTree B. So
yeah,
lots to talk.
Lots to talk about. So why don't we start off with WikiTree B, the browser extension. So Jeff, take it away.
Okay, here, let me share.
Yeah. It's great we didn't scare you off last week.
Yeah. Oh, 2 weeks ago, but
2 weeks ago.
All right, great. So I've been working on a couple things the last few weeks, or last couple weeks, I guess, since the last time I presented. So the two main things are Firefox support and GenieNet support. So I'm sharing now my Firefox browser, and you can see the same icons as before. The yellow indicates that it's linked, and up here you can click here to open the linked profile on WikiTree. Last time I forgot to mention that it also works from the list view. So from here, you can see on the right side, this is now filtered by anyone with the surname of Crew. And from here, it can help to if I scroll down, for example, here's someone born in Ketchum's End. I know fairly highly confident that this is already in WikiTree. So I can click on this person and kind of go up their tree, and hopefully at some point it'll link. So if I go up, to Alfred Crew, he's linked, and then you see it's checking, and it linked to his daughter Elizabeth, his second daughter named Elizabeth, and then now Alfred Roland Crew has been linked. And you see, so that's going to the list view can help you, and then you have to refresh from here. But it can help you see like how you're doing progress-wise on your tree linking. And now he shows up as yellow. And this is all on Firefox.
That's amazing. So Jeff, I think I missed that magic. I mean, I saw it, but the reality of the magic of that. So you just go up the tree, and when it finds someone else that's already linked, then it automatically does the search for the immediate family, and so you can just go down. You don't have to even enter in the WikiTree ID of the person that you know is already in there. It just finds it.
Yes.
Wow.
When you go to the profile of someone who is linked, it attempts to link all of their immediate family, both their families, both their parents and siblings, as well as their spouses and children. Yeah. So I had to walk up the tree and then walk back down to link.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a little bit touchy sometimes. I try to do sort of a fuzzy matching. I spoke a little bit about it last time, where if you have a sibling, so actually we found one, Elizabeth Crew. She was the second daughter named Elizabeth Crew.
Right.
Of that, I forget who the father's name was, but it tries to be a little bit strict about, is it the right time frame? She born in the same year. if you are a spouse and the time frame is a little off, it like, this, you have the exact name as a spouse, but you were born 5 years different from what WikiTree and your local trees say. It gives a little bit more leeway there, but for siblings and children, it's a little bit more specific. So it won't always work. Sometimes you're going to have to go in and manually link. You can also, if you go to someone, I don't know if this, or just randomly pick someone, something is wrong, you can remove them, and you can also click on them and select, oh, you know what? I hadn't tested that this works, but apparently it is working in Firefox. And so you can you can go, oh, unfortunately got the wrong person. But if I just go to their parents, I assume it'll link them correctly. Yeah, this Alfred. So the search isn't always perfect either. So sometimes you will have to manually link, but hopefully, the automatic linking will, save you time and not require you to link every single person on your tree.
Excellent.
All right. Yeah. So the list view. So on Ancestry, it works on profile pages. It works on the tree view. So if I go to their family tree, so this is, I'm demonstrating on Firefox, and basically it's saving to the browser. So the fact that I have saved some of these already on Chrome is irrelevant, because I have to do it in each browser. My plan is to focus on an import-export, perhaps is the next task I take on. But you can look around here and see, here are some that, at least in this browser, have not been linked yet. I'm pretty confident most of these people are also on WikiTree. All right, the other thing I wanted to demonstrate was GenieNet. So GenieNet is another genealogy site that's fairly popular, more popular in certain parts of the world than others. But I've added support here. So you can see the same William Crew. And this is the profile page. So from here, you can see his spouses and children and siblings and parents are all linked.
Can you zoom in just a couple? Can you just zoom in just a little bit, Jeff?
There we go. Is that better?
That's better.
Yeah, I can do one more. Yeah, so on here, you can see the little icons to the side. It also works on this little tree view down here, the mini tree. Unfortunately, it does not work on the family tree view. This is just in the way that they've implemented it. The elements on the page don't actually expose the variables I need to know who the person is. So, if anyone else has an idea or is able to crack the code, I'm open. But right now, the thing that's missing is GenieNet uses this disambiguator. So basically, the link to the person is just their name. I don't know. These trending Google search. All right, these aren't private things, but it's basically just the person's name. It's also, this is the privacy, like who's logged in, but it's just William Crew. There's plenty of William Crews in my tree, so it uses this disambiguator saying the 5th William Crew in the tree based on when they are created in the tree. And that's the thing that does not appear on the page anywhere. So I wouldn't know if it's William Crew, the one who's like my second cousin versus the one that's my 3rd great uncle versus my 5th great grandfather. So unfortunately, that's why the tree view doesn't work. But GenieNet has this kind of cool view where you can list everyone with the name Crew, and it sort of shows you the families. So from here, you can go to that, and it works here. So I can see that, here's yet another one of those William Crews. It looks like none of his spouse and his children are not linked. So if I navigate to him, hopefully it'll, and I go to the profile view, hopefully it'll do the fetch. And now you see that his spouse, his children and siblings are all linked. So the link view or the list view works on GenieNet and the profile view, but unfortunately the tree view does not work. On Ancestry, profile view, tree view, and list view all work. And I think that's all I have to demo. Is there any questions I can answer?
So this is in the WikiTree B extension, right?
Correct.
And is it live in the current B, or is it in B preview only?
So the Firefox and GenieNet are not merged in yet, so they're definitely not available. The Ancestry, Ian, I believe, is in the chat. He'll have to. I think it may be released in the preview mode, but I don't believe it's live in the full extension yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I do know that it's live in the preview, or Ancestry is live in preview, because I was using it after like a couple weeks ago after you showed it off.
Okay.
And so I spent quite a bit of time linking people and stuff. It was quite fun.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I did make a breaking change where basically I moved the it was saving it to like the Ancestry context, and when I went to GenieNet, I realized that was the wrong thing to do. So Jamie, you might have to redo some of your tree. I apologize. So it's now doing it in a shared background context. So that way, and the big reason why that's important is if you want to export, you probably want to export all of them at once rather than saying like export my GenieNet, export my Ancestry. You know, if in the future I'm able to figure out other things, yeah, you don't want to have to export each of those individually. So it's running in the background context now. So apologies.
Oh, that's okay. That sounds good.
Yes, no, I see, John. One other thing, you might have to enable it as well. So in the options, I'm still sharing, right? In the options, there's a tree linking options. So those have to be checked for it to work.
And you do have to be using the preview version, yeah.
On the preview version, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Ian said it should be in the live version soon.
There we go. Soon's good.
Jeff, does that work on all Ancestry domains, or is it just the main ancestry.com or .co.uk?
So there is a long list. Ian created the list of the domains. So hopefully it's all of them. I don't know. I trusted Ian to get those right. On GenieNet, it only uses a single domain, so it should work for everyone. At least when you're looking at your tree. When you're looking at kind of the administration pages, it uses a localized domain. But when you're using the tree, it seems to use gw.genienet.org all the time. So that shouldn't have any issues. Yeah, I think it's all two from what I could tell. But you know, if Ancestry was to come out with a new domain for another localized, like I don't believe there's an India one. If they would come out with like a Indian domain, we'd have to add it to the list.
Right. Cool.
All right. That's all for me.
That's all
Thanks
for you.
Thanks for having me.
No, well, thanks for coming. That's great to see. David, do you want to show off the stuff you've been working on?
Yeah, sure. So I picked up, someone had asked in one of the G2G posts, I think it was, sort of, is there a way we could get a heritage view? So if I just share the right screen.
This is very cool.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also cool that, it came from a G2G post, a request that a WikiTree had made, and then you just took it and ran with it. And I think people will be very impressed. Look at this.
Okay, so we'll start. Is that big enough on the screen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we'll start. This is just myself. I don't have so much to show, unfortunately. So I've got some other examples as well. So first mode we're in is just like the overview, which I had a couple of false starts trying to show, I think, the wrong thing. And then I've worked out probably what was actually the right way to approach it. So that's, I think, this overview. So I've 50% sort of that I know of comes from the Russian Empire, former Russia. I've got a quarter UK, and I've got an eighth Polish and eighth Austrian. But I don't have enough sort of details further back. A little bit more interesting, I can show you, this is now Greg, so that's Greg's profile. So as we look down, same thing. So he's just over a third Irish, quarter Canada. It's got 16% England. So we've got Canada and Basque Canada. Can you explain the difference, Greg?
Yeah, Bas Canada is what is now the province of Quebec, but that's what it was called from basically 1790 until Confederation, 1767, 1867. Right. Yeah, 76. Yeah, 67.
Yeah, and I see we've got a Quebec pie over here.
Yes,
as well.
That's right. So depending on whether you're
generation,
that's right. And I can see immediately that there's a profile or two that I need to go in and change, because Sainte-Geneviève is just one little town in Bas Canada or Quebec, depending on the time frame. And I obviously didn't put the full location in there. So
the country at the end, yeah. I think this has two roles. This tool. One is that it sort of is, if you'd like to just sort of go, what I don't know about my heritage, or what does the data tell me? But then also as a troubleshooting sort of tool as well, to go through and go, that's not a country, that needs to be changed in the data. The point I was going to make though is that this is very much data dependent. So we've got Quebec, we've got Canada, we've got Bas Canada. I'm currently not doing anything too clever, and I think it might be a little bit sort of too complicated to try and sort of combine those into a single pie, sort of based on the same the knowledge of knowing it's the same place. So that's like the overview. Where I started with, and I think it could still also be useful, is like a detailed per generation view. So if I just run that, it all runs quite quickly. So you can see at each generation, I've asked for 6 here. So we've got Greg's parents were both Canadian, all 4 grandparents Canadian. Really interesting, isn't it? Great grandparents also Canadian.
Oh yeah.
Then your great grandparents is where it sort of splits up a bit.
Yes. Yeah.
And the percentages all sort of change based on generation, because all I'm basically doing is saying for each of those great grandparents, which country were they born in, and grouping together as necessary. So then I just wanted to move down to slightly 6th generation.
Oh, there's
because initially what I did was only the profiles that exist. So you've got 42 of your 64 4 times great grandparents on WikiTree. So the first thing I did didn't show any representation for the unknowns, basically. There was an unknown pie potentially if the location hadn't been entered, or privacy or something stopped it being shown. So it's a little small. I need to work on the font sizes. So you've got like a 39% unknown, but that's because, quick maths here, more your area, isn't it, Greg? 20.
Yeah, so that would be my father's.
4 of your ancestors. You just haven't got profiles on.
I don't know. I lose them at about 1800. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I just turn off that missing ancestors as unknown option, I'll just scroll back down. So if it's jumping a little bit. So that 6th generation now, so actually the largest is now Bas Canada, and unknown has dropped down to only 7% of the ancestors that have existing profiles. So I thought it's a useful option, because some people might want to see, of the data I've got, what's my heritage. And the last profile I'll show is Murray Maloney, who anyone who's done sort of any of the development would probably come across, another great Canadian like Greg. So I'm just going to show in details, because of the privacy on his parents, there isn't much to show, and the current incarnation of the tool sort of stops there. But he was saying basically that his I think it's, well, one of his parents, let's just anonymize it that way, was from the Ottoman Empire. So he expected to see a larger percentage for that. So it stays at 50% across a couple of generations. But then when we get to the 2 times great grandparents, because there's missing people, missing profiles, he doesn't actually have much information on his on that side of the family. The Ottoman drops down, and he was expecting that obviously it should stay at 50% because half the family, one parental side, came from the Ottoman Empire. So there's a bit of work to do still, but that's sort of the general gist of what we've got so far. Was there any questions?
Nice.
See?
I have a question about that. The first chart, the overview. If you go back to my overview, if you want to see that, there's some really slim wedges at the top that aren't labeled. So
so I'm on my to-do list. I've sort of a long piece of paper. It's just puts like a legend, sort of similar to how you've got with the details, where it shows them and the colors. But if you hover over any of the small pies, you can see sort of the description of what that place is.
Are they appearing for you?
Is it not? Oh, okay. Now I see on the. It's like a tooltip type hover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's not showing
the screen. That's interesting.
The screen sharing. Oh.
Did you know that's the
tooltip? I know on here it doesn't always show a pop-up stuff. So
yeah,
I realize that
tooltip. So yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so saying it. Yeah, so anything
there are
tooltips.
Yeah. If you wanted to share your full screen, you could probably show them, but I don't know that it's necessary.
Yeah, no, but got things open, so just in case.
Yeah.
Always safer not to do the whole screen. Yeah, but yeah, so you can hover over those pies, and it shows you the sort of the full country or location and the percentages. So yeah, it's just more of a space issue because initially I didn't disable the labels and it was just all over typing. So. So anything came through from?
Oh, Anne's got a question for you.
So I've got it on the test location, and we can share the link for that. If that's okay. Should I send that to you, Greg, and then you can?
Yes, if you put it in the chat, private chat there. Wait a minute. Nope, that's a different. Yeah, if you put the link in the private chat here in StreamYard, then I can copy it into the.
I think that should work. Let me just double check. Yeah, no, it doesn't. Yeah, so that's the link. So soon, certainly by the end of the Hacktoberfest, I'll sort of get things tidied up, but it's still very much work in progress, changing day by day. So, but we'll get it live as soon as I can. Thanks, Greg.
No problem.
So are you looking for people to test it right now, or are you still have a bunch of work before you want people to test it?
Ooh, scary. No.
It is.
So a few people have been sort of testing and just sort of playing around via the Discord server. So I think I'll leave it at that for now. Maybe once it's sort of when I think it's more finished, then maybe I'll sort of ask for testers. Okay.
Yeah, and if anyone watching is not on Discord yet or is on Discord, there's a Hacktoberfest channel, and so that's where a lot of testing and just talking about Hacktoberfest is going on. If you want to join us.
Yes, please do. Excellent. Thanks for that, David. That's great. That is very impressive. Yeah. And again, it's really cool that it came from someone's idea. Now, was this something that was an idea that was percolating in your brain before you saw the GGG post, or you just saw that and said, I could do that?
I was looking for inspiration, really. I didn't have an idea this year, so that just inspired me. I thought, yeah, that would be nice, because as I sort of showed my own heritage, I'm still trying to build up and sort of get actual countries, because it's been sort of orally passed down as like Polish and Lithuanian, but I haven't sort of got those in sources. Like, well, what data do I have so far? It'd be nice to see it.
That's great. Good stuff.
It would also be kind of interesting to like compare that chart to like if you've done DNA results and see like kind of how
Yes.
they
Yeah.
yeah.
See how they compare. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'm looking
right.
at mine. It's pretty cool, and I can tell I got some fixing to do. Inconsistencies. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. That was when I added that sort of feature to the fan chart. That was one of the first things that people were exclaiming about, is that, oh, it really highlights how inconsistent you've been with your profiles and naming conventions and stuff. So it's a good little prod to get things tweaked and fixed. Oh, Yoke is saying that hers is going to be very boring, and then she obviously just did it for 10 generations. 98% Nederland, 2% Nederlands with an S, and then 0% Heiliges Römisches Reich. Why would it even be there? Or unless it's such a small percentage that it's you round down to 0, like maybe it's 0.4%. Maybe. So, anyways, interesting. So
Yeah,
we
I've
also
done a
had
certain amount of it in there, so yeah, maybe that's why.
Yeah. Well, actually, 10 generations, right? That's 2 to the 10th, which is 10 1024. So you'd only need 1 or 2, and that would be less than 1%. That would be under 1%. So yeah, it would, if you round off to the closest integer, that would be 0%. Yeah. 1 or 2 Germans way back, Yoke says. Good stuff. Well, thank you very much. It's great when other people are here so that Jamie and I just don't have to make up things to fill the time.
Yeah, or like figure out how stuff works. Like
yeah, that's right. Figure out how things work. Yeah, like so they did this. I don't remember what button they pressed to get that. And yeah, that's embarrassing. But we do. Joel Richard is the one who had done some work on the printer friendly tree. And Jamie, do you want to show off what Joel's doing?
I will show that off.
Joel Richard, who was 9th cousin, I discovered because of our joint Acadian roots.
I'm gonna share my window.
Okay.
And then go to, okay, so can you see this?
Yeah.
So this is the old one, or yeah.
This thing one?
So
one?
Yeah, the current one that's live on the site. So it's the person that you've entered and 4 generations. And so Joel has made one that goes back another generation, which is kind of nice. So the person that you've entered at the top is now, their information is shown here, and then now there's 5 generations underneath it. So that's what he's working on. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it actually makes a lot of sense because wasting an entire column for just one person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes, it's brilliant.
And again, this is another good way to see where you're missing stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's what Joel's been working on, which is nice. And so it looks like it's pretty close to being complete. So hopefully look for it soon. And hopefully it's not, is it too noisy in the background? There's kind of a lot of noise here.
No, I just heard one little thing briefly, but no, you're fine.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other new thing that has, Anonymous Bremford has, he did the Slippy Tree. And so he recently made some improvements, which I just made live this morning, right before the this live chat. So he I think he did some bug fixes, but then there's 2 new features of Slippy Tree. So one is that you can remove people. So like if you click on somebody, there's a remove button. I don't know if you can see the pop-up.
Yeah, we can see the pop-up now. Yeah.
So you can remove, and they'll disappear from the chart.
Oh wow!
I'm not sure. Yeah. So like if you And then the other cool thing that he did is he made it so you can create an SVG of whatever the current view is.
Ooh.
So to do that, you go over to the question button, and there's a download current view link here.
Okay.
So you do that, and I'm just going to open one that I already downloaded earlier.
Okay.
And so yeah, you'll get an SVG that looks like the screen. So you can insert that, in a document or website or something. So pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Very.
So yeah, that's
very
live right now in Tree Apps, so you can go try it out. So yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Okay. Do you have any idea how he did that? Can we just add that SVG link to?
I don't.
He's,
I'm sure if you asked, he might be able to help you do it for your apps. Because
I've started on a PDF creator because I had that in my original fan chart, the standalone version. It took a fair bit of programming, and I've started working on that on the Super Tree on the beta version that's not live, and then I got distracted by other things, so it's only halfway there. Like the boxes get drawn, but none of the actual information inside them. So it's kind of not a very helpful PDF.
But the code's all open source, so I guess you could look and see what he did, and if it's confusing, he's pretty responsive.
Yeah. Because everything, like all of my tree apps all the diagrams are built on an SVG canvas. If he can just, that'd be very cool.
Very cool. That's all I have to show off for the other two tree apps. And so now you have a new tree app that you've been building, right?
I do. Well, it's actually not a tree app. Right now it's a standalone app. We haven't actually, I haven't decided. I guess I could put it in the tree apps, but we haven't actually talked about where it belongs.
Yeah. So it's a standalone app?
Currently it's a standalone app, but there's nothing about it that, there is that's a good question. We'll have to talk off screen, the logistics of where this should live. But anyways, yes, I will show, let's see. Yeah, so last week I showed a little bit about this mystery box challenge, and it's officially being released at the beginning of WikiTree week. So the 17 people here are, you're sworn to secrecy because we're watching this live because you're getting to see something before it's live with everyone. But excuse me, sorry, got a little frog in my throat. As Jamie was saying, I do need some testers at this point because I've got it mostly working, I think. And
there's a channel or a thread in Discord where you're.
That's exactly it. Yeah, in Discord, in the Hacktoberfest channel, there's an actual thread that's all about testing for the mystery box challenge. So if you're in Discord, please go there and help test it out. So I will put the link to it. I'll put the link to it here as well. So you can just click on it live right now. But it was really helpful for me if I get feedback in the Discord channel, because then I can respond to it, right away. If I'm at home and not watching grandkids or running a choir practice or whatever. But anyways, so basically, you go in and it welcomes you. It should recognize you. If it's the first time in, you'll have to log in. So there'll be a button that says client login. So you log in with your regular WikiTree ID and whatnot. And so I have a mystery box already designed. I picked one this morning. I haven't finished. I haven't actually worked on it at all. So I'm just going to go to that mystery box. Last week I showed you that when you go to choose a mystery box, you get to choose what level, what time period, and what place, what location. And so this has found 5 different profiles for me to fix. And those are the parameters I used: intermediate, 19th century Canada. So now one of the questions is, what if they're, now in this case, all of these profiles have Canada in them somewhere. So these criteria are used to send, the way that each of the profiles comes back is there's a WikiTree Plus query that it looks for certain suggestions. The suggestions have been divided up. These are the same suggestions that data doctors use. So they've been divided up into their categories of difficulty. So I'm looking for intermediate level suggestions. And 19th century, that means that one of the dates should be in the 19th century. That's the 1800s. So it could be the birth date, could be the death date. I don't think WikiTree Plus automatically looks in the marriage date. So I think it's going to be either the birth or the death date. That'll be in somewhere in the 1800s, or that they lived sometime in the 1800s, basically. And Canada has to show up somewhere in a location field, either the birth field or the death field. So here we have Canada by itself, Upper Canada, Canada Est, which is another way of another phrase they used for Quebec after 1841. So they could call it Bas Canada or Canada Est, and then just regular Canada and Canada there. So this person, even though they were born in Canada, but they died in the United States, but that doesn't disqualify them because the WikiTree Plus found them because the birth date was in Canada. So this particular set actually all fit in that, and I think the time frames also match. Sometimes what will happen, depending on what your parameters are, if your parameters are really specific, like say 17th century, I don't know, Tasmania, if it's really specific, it may be that they couldn't find any that match those criteria. So in that case, it broadens the search out. So it could mean that there just weren't profiles, or it could mean that there's something wrong with the way the search is working. So I need to know in both cases what's happening. So that's one of the things that I need testing. And if there's if there's a profile here, you just can't figure out what's wrong. So for example, if you don't know anything about projects and project accounts and project boxes, think, well, I don't know what I want to do with that. So if you hit swap, and then you can have the choice to swap out for another another profile of the same type, or just a random suggestion. I'm going to hit random suggestion there, and it'll take some while and swap John Flynn out for someone else. And it might take a while to do that because it's searching and finding thing. I added a feature so that it focuses on getting the time and there we go. It found William Jones. And it's the same type of randomly pick the same type of suggestion.
Would there be a way to make it so you can exclude certain types of suggestions, maybe?
That's an excellent suggestion. I had an excellent suggestion. I could try that. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. One of the features that has been asked is when you're choosing the box, there's the list of countries, and there's just a drop down, and I just picked the top 20 most populated countries in terms of WikiTree profiles to populate the box. Again, thinking that I'd want more success, and if we use the countries where there's the most profiles on WikiTree, then we'd have better chance of success. But someone did ask if I could add an extra option where you could type in a location so that if people wanted their mystery profiles to really be more specific. So you could put just Quebec, for example, or North Carolina or something like that, if you wanted to be that specific. So
and so for this app, it gives you 5 suggestions that you want to complete by the end of the day, or? Well,
you can the boxes, the profiles don't get taken away from you. You can have as long as you want to do it. The one thing, ideally you do 1 box a day, because we're going to sort of set it up like a Wordle, where you get 1 mystery box, and then when you're done that for the day, then you have to come back tomorrow to do another mystery box and whatnot.
It doesn't like reset at midnight, where it's like if you miss it, you're like, oh darn.
No, it does not do that. It doesn't take them away, because ultimately we want these suggestions cleared. We want this to help improve the health of the tree, right? So we don't penalize these poor profiles just because we couldn't get our act together to solve them all in one day. But yeah, I have built in a stats section. So if you go to the stats, you can see, so here's what the stats look like right now. So it tells you I've completed 8 mystery boxes altogether. I've done 6 in a row. So it keeps track of your current streak. So you see, I haven't done, so this is the 24th. I haven't done today's, I haven't finished today's, but I've done one for the last 6 days solid. And then a couple others there. It's possible I might have fudged this data while testing, but we won't mention that.
Are the stats saved in your browser? Is that
what's that?
Are the stats saved in your browser, or are you?
The stats are actually saved on the WikiTree server in my my app server directory. So they're all saved there. And then the most recent box, it gives you the specific details in case you wanted to know exactly what it was. So yesterday's box, number 28 box, mystery box number 28, it was again intermediate 19th century Canada. And I solved it at 1400 hours, 1400, 13 hours. So 2:13 in the afternoon, basically. And the other feature is that you can actually get stickers. You can have a sticker for the details of the last box that you did, or an ongoing sticker of how many you have completed. And you just copy that, plop it into your biography, and you've got a really cool sticker to show off to all your friends. So what I need, if we go back to the mystery box, so what I need testing is that the parameters are working. I've added a feature so that it does try to go through all the suggestions and return ones that give you the time and place that you requested. But doing that has slowed down the profile picking that I've noticed. So it's taking longer to populate these 5 profiles at that initial case. I don't know if that's a big deal because, you know, hopefully people are patient about that. I mean, it means that there's a whole pile of queries going to the WikiTree Plus server. One of the things, there have been about 4 people who've been testing it regularly, but I need larger numbers of people hitting this and testing it to see how it works in greater numbers before we release it to the entire WikiTree community in November. So test that out, test out the swapping. When you're done, let's see, no, I'm not going to swap that one out. Let's see if I can figure out Levi's. Levi. Now, of course, I just shared my one tab. Okay, so I've just fixed Levi's tab, so I'm going to say that's done. So I'm going to say, yes, I'm all done there. And then it goes green. And when you're all done, all 5 of them, then it'll record that this profile is done. And what I've added for now, at least during the testing phase here, I'll just say that I'm done all of them, and I'll come back and undo that so that we can fix those later. So there we go. You see, congratulations, you've completed this mystery box. And it takes you to the stats, where you can just admire your completed box. And then it gives me the option to choose a new one if I wanted to. It shouldn't actually give me an option to create a new one. It should give me something different. Let me reload that page. So there's a bug. What it should do is, that's interesting. It should tell me here that it's done. Oh, I see there's an error popping up that I need to fix. Okay. One of the options is supposed, if you've done your mystery box for the day, it's supposed to say, congratulations, thank you for doing your mystery box today. Come back tomorrow to do another one. But I've added an option that you can do a practice box, which will not count in the stats, but will let you go through the whole process of picking 5 profiles and solving them so that you can actually test this. Because otherwise, testers could only do 1 test during a day, and then they'd have to wait till tomorrow to do another test for me. So that's not a very efficient way of using testers. So I added this extra feature, which apparently I have now broken and we'll have to fix. So stay tuned for that. And maybe this is a good time for me to stop. sharing. Oh.
So when you click done on one of those suggestions,
Yes.
does it tell WikiTree Plus that you've completed that suggestion, or is that you still have to do that separately?
You do have to do that separately. So that was,
Okay.
let's just choose a new box. Okay, I'll go back into it. Let's go easy peasy, 20th century. Let's go Britain, onward to Britain. And what number should I pick, Jamie?
67.
67. Okay, we'll go box 67. Canada became a country in 1867, so it's a good year. Okay. So it's searching patiently for profile number 1. And again, I put this note here that they're based on your preferred time and location, but it may not always find one. And the suggestions are based on difficulty level from the Data Doctors project, and you can click on that and give you more details about Data Doctors. So we've got 1 here, and then as it adds more, then it gives you some examples of some of the suggestions you could see popping up. We've got 3, we've got 4, waiting for number 5. There we go. So I'm going to hit accept this challenge. That wasn't too long, actually, I guess, eh? That long a wait.
No.
So I'm going to accept that challenge. And so here are the instructions. So for each of the profiles, you open it up, and it's just a single click to open it up. And because I'm not sharing my whole browser, you have to believe me that there's another tab that just opened up with this first person, Asaph Pease, with her or his, I think, is it a her or him? Son of, so his profile. So I can look through that and find out birth, location, country, not official. Actually, why don't I just change what I'm sharing, so you can see, I can go back and forth. I want to say maybe do the whole window.
I think there's the option to do a whole whole Chrome window rather than just a Chrome tab.
Like that? There we go. Okay, so there's Asaph Pease. What was the suggestion? The suggestion was birth, location, country, not official. British colonial America. Oh, so no, actually 16 October 1776, that's after it became the United States, right? It's after July 4th, 1776 in Connecticut. So shouldn't that be United States?
Yes.
So, okay. I mean, I'm Canadian, but I'm pretty sure that date is after you became, and so it's just United States, right? Not USA, United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to fix that.
Well, according to my heritage chart, it can be any of those, which I'll need to fix.
But I think what does the WikiTree standard is just the word United States, isn't it?
I believe so.
Okay, it's the WikiTree. So. Okay,
that's what popped up as a suggestion, right?
Right. Yeah. So changed birth location to standard. Okay, so I'm going to do that. But I can, yeah, okay, so where did I do that? Save that. But I can also go under here, because the other thing it says to do is to choose the suggestion menu and click the status to fix it there. Now it said to include mystery box as part of the comment. I forgot to do that. That's not absolutely necessary, but I thought that was a fun way to be able to track the comments, the changes that were made from the challenge. So it's not a requirement. I'm not actually searching for those comments. So I go down to suggestions. I click on suggestions. And we fixed, this is the one we fixed. So I had status there. And is it still, am I still sharing that? Yeah. Corrected. It should be birth location. Correct. I'll just say corrected birth location. Birth location. Okay. And there we go. Then we can update the status. Then WikiTree knows that we fixed that, at least that one profile. Is that working? Did it update it? Must have, right? Somewhere. Oh, there it is. There it is. I just had to be a little patient. So now that we've done that, we can actually say this is done in good conscience. So that's sort of the process. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So
it's like I want to test this out, but I feel like I would kind of go down a rabbit hole and spend hours doing stuff like that. Do you want to do 1 box a day, or is it like 1 box a day plus any number of practice boxes you want?
Well, currently it's 1 box a day that gets counted in the official stats, and then right now the practice boxes are open. You can do as many of those as you want, and it's and the reason I put the practice box in is for the testers so that they can test out. I think I'll probably.
So are those going to be removed?
Well, I was wondering about that. You know, like if I remove it, is that going to, by leaving it there, is that going to encourage people just to practice and then because they think this is fun, or will that take the mystery away and not want them to come back because they're addicted like in a Wordle? I'm not sure. So I'm open to suggestions on whether the practice boxes should remain a feature or just leave it as a feature during testing phases, or leave it for people who are, you know, registered testers who want to continue testing. Because like once we roll out in November and we've got lots of people hitting the system, there might be more things that come up that we haven't tested for. So I will probably still need some additional testers to keep on helping out during at least the initial rollout phases. So
and you plan to have it ready during WikiTree week?
Yes. The official, where there's going to be an official video live cast that Vicky Blanco and I will be doing 8 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday night to begin to roll the beginning of WikiTree week.
Do you know what the date is for that live cast?
It's the first Sunday of November. So let's see. That would be Halloween is a Thursday, so that means Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That'd be the 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's November 3rd. Azure beat me to it. November 3rd, Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time will be the official rollout. Oh, and of course you're watching that I'm just pulled up a calendar. Yeah, because I'm still sharing my screen. Okay.
Greg, I was going to ask you what the significance of the box numbers is, and are they shared by other people doing the same parameters?
No, once you pick a box, then that box is no longer available for anyone else to use. And the box number is used as part of the randomizer to find the profiles. So there's a connection there, but they're not pre-populated. So box 41 doesn't have a preset number of 5 profiles because the suggestions change over time. And so if I were to pre-populate them at the beginning of the week, by the end of the week, some of those profiles those suggestions may have already been fixed. And in fact, that even still happens. Sometimes you open up a profile and you'll go to fix the suggestion and it has been fixed, but someone just hasn't updated the status to let WikiTree or let the server know that it's been changed. So that's why in the swap options, one of the options was to say that it has been fixed or it was done by someone else. So that it swap out for a fresh profile for you, unless you want to take credit for someone else's work, you know. But
and what happens if all the boxes for a certain sort of set of parameters are gone? So I did like easy 20th century England.
Right. So then it would just
the
find.
team do we go, yay!
Yeah, you could do that. But if it can't find it, then it relaxes one of the restrictions. So then it would, I think it prioritizes the place. So it looks for place and difficulty level, and it ignores the time. And if it still can't find something, then it goes for the time frame, and ignores the place. And if it really can't find anything, then it just goes for any profile it can find that has a suggestion. So you should get 5 profiles. It shouldn't run out. I mean, if it does run out, that means we've done a really good job cleaning up the tree.
Yeah, that would be a good thing if that
would be a good thing. I don't see that happening in the near future, much as it'd be great. Yeah. So one of the things that popped up actually today during testing is Tommy Book with us today. I didn't see his name pop up, but in the stats, all the stats are personal stats, like the number of boxes you've done and your streak, and then it's got the nice little calendar showing the boxes that you've done on each of the days, so you can sort of visually see that. He was wondering if we should have some global stats available, like people who have done the longest streak or something like that. And I wasn't sure whether that would be, like, I think for some people that would be very like, they'd like to see their name at the top, but will it discourage more people than it will encourage some, and I don't know what the answer to that question is. So that would be a interesting, I'd like feedback on that too. So
maybe show how many people have completed a box today or by day.
Yes. Okay.
So it's not so much X person has done 100 boxes, but just sort of know you're letting the side down. Only 1,000 people have done boxes today.
I like that idea. Yeah.
Yesterday, 10,000 people did boxes.
That's right. Good start. Oh, Tommy is there. Good. I just remembered. Good stuff. Yeah. So that's where it is at right now. It's got all sort of the major components are working, except for obviously something that I need to fix there. But I do need testers. So
there was a question.
What was it?
Do you see? How do you find mystery boxes that you haven't finished yet?
So once you start the app, once you've logged in, if you've got a mystery box that's already in progress, then that will show up. Like when I first opened the screen, it said you have it says go to mystery box, because I had already selected the profiles. I hadn't actually done any of them, but the mystery box was already set up for me. So it will remember the last one that you were working on, and you can just go to that right away. It doesn't clear them away until you've said that you've done with those profiles, or you can return the whole box back, and that sort of releases those profiles back into the. Now it actually doesn't release them to the public necessarily, because it sort of keeps them in a holding pattern for a few days still, but it allows you to pick a new box. Does that answer the question?
I think so. And then there's another new question.
Okay. That's an interesting. I haven't got a peer checking option with this. I'm assuming people are. I'm assuming people are doing this legitimately and using the best of their ability. So not gaming the system. Just
that might also be a reason not to have like a competition between users.
Yeah,
so people are just like clicking done every time.
Well, it's very easy to load up a box and just go click done, boom.
Yeah.
So there's no advantage to WikiTree to just game the system and just say, well, I got the box done. I've got the longest streak, but not having actually done the work. So yeah. So,
so I think that's it for new stuff.
Yeah.
This week, and it's been an hour. So, is there anything else anyone wants to?
Oh, Yoke asked a question there. I think Yoke clarified what she was asking about. You selected a box, didn't accept it. Yeah, so it wasn't there. Yeah, so if you don't accept it, then it's sort of in limbo until you say I accept these, right? So if you're just sort of browsing, no, I'm just here browsing, I'm not here to buy yet, then all of those profiles are sort of in limbo until you say I accept it, and then they're your responsibility, and hopefully you will fix that. But the box was removed from the box's overview. Oh. Ooh. Well, I think that's because as soon as you clicked it, I removed it from the list so that someone, if David and Jeff were at the same time picking boxes, that you wouldn't have more than one person picking it. But you're right, I don't have a way of, if you just turned off your browser or refreshed it, I wouldn't know that was, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. Maybe if there's a certain stretch of time between when you picked it and hit accept, if that has gone too long, then I'll just return that box to the fold. That's a good point. Thank you, Yoke. I had not. Let me write that down. Okay. That's why I need testers for these sorts of things. Okay. Okay, thanks. Back to you, Jamie. Oh. You're trying to wrap us up here.
I think that's it for this week. We'll be back next Thursday, which is Halloween, and also the last day of Hacktoberfest.
Very scary.
So, yeah. Yeah. See the little ghost guy up there.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we'll have some more stuff to show off next week. And thank you, David and Jeff, for joining us this week. And see you guys next week.
We'll see you. See you next week. Bye. Happy Hacktoberfesting.